Ashe medics. Update on the call. Law enforcement's on scene. Narcan's been administered. Possible overdose. CPR in progress.
Send him again.
A few moments ago.
Get off the bike. Get off the bike.
The sheriff's office tells us Chad Mast was on his motorcycle when he was pulled over, which led to a scuffle between Mast and officers.
Give us another hand!
Give us your hand now.
Just another hand. I'm gonna choke you out, you hear me?
They say they were able to get him cuffed before he lost consciousness, and they started life-saving measures, which included 2 doses of Narcan.
I think he's out.
Yeah. Hey, get him on his side. He's purple in the face. Oh, shit. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Well, gee! How did a man who had committed no crime wind up unconscious in the middle of a dark highway fighting for his life after this encounter with the Ashe County Sheriff's Office? That's a question that a lot of people wanted answers to, including Stuart's family, because they state directly after this incident, the Sheriff's Office went silent. And a lot of the things they were told, well, weren't adding up, making this look and feel a lot like a cover-up. And if you ask me, that's exactly what it was. Of course, there's a lot more to the story. So to better understand this case, why don't we go back to the beginning?
In September 2024, 48-year-old Stuart Chad Mast was living in Fleetwood, North Carolina. Now, there's not a lot we can tell you about Stuart. From what we can find, it doesn't look like he was married or had any kids. Stuart ended up on the radar of the Ashe County Sheriffs. Apparently, in 2022, Stuart was driving his motorcycle near his home and came upon a police checkpoint. Now, police reports state Stuart attempted to pass the police checkpoint without stopping, but was quickly pulled over and returned to the checkpoint, where he was searched by police and they brought in a canine. Deputies would find multiple bags of meth, cash, and another bag containing a brown powdery substance.
Now, the motorcycle that Stuart was driving was found to not be owned by him or registered to him. However, it also wasn't reported stolen. Obviously, after the drugs were found on Stuart, he was arrested and transported to the Ashe County Detention Center. Here are the charges that Stuart faced from that incident, which, as you can see, included felony possession of methamphetamine. Now, Stuart would be released on a $2,500 bond, and that's really all I could find from this incident. However, I believe this is what put Stuart on the radar for the Ashe County Sheriff's Office.
Now, 2 years later, Stuart would have another run-in with the Ashe County Sheriff's Department, only this time he wouldn't be so lucky, and it was all caught on body camera.
In the early morning hours of September 13th, 2024, Stuart Mast was shopping at a local 24-hour convenience store. Unbeknownst to Stuart, he was being watched by the Ashe County Sheriff's Department while he was at this store. They believed that Stuart not only had drugs on him, but he was dealing, which at no time did they witness. You see, the Ashe County Sheriff's Office believes that Stuart is plugged into the local methamphetamine trade. But to be clear, those deputies never saw Stuart do anything illegal, but they were still watching him. Now, when Stuart got on his motorcycle and went to leave the convenience store, he was followed by the Ashe County Sheriff's deputies, who eventually decided to initiate a traffic stop and pull Stuart over. Now, it isn't clear what happens next. Some reports state that Stuart didn't pull over right away. However, that is never shown in any of the body camera or dash camera footage. What we do see is this deputy pulling up on an already pulled over Stuart, sitting on his motorcycle. And from what I can see, it doesn't look like Stuart's fighting or doing anything aggressive. But that didn't stop these deputies from keeping him at gunpoint. Now you can see within a matter of seconds from those deputies walking up and engaging with Stuart, the deputies were already trying to rip him off of his motorcycle because they believed he wasn't getting off of it fast enough. But if you take a closer look, there was a reason for that. You see, Stuart was connected to his motorcycle by a tether, and that tether connected to a vest that Stuart was wearing. If Stuart were to get into a motorcycle accident, that vest would inflate when it becomes disconnected to the motorcycle. He's essentially wearing an airbag, which provides protection to the rider if they're thrown off the bike. You can see when the deputies are ordering Stuart off of his motorcycle, he's trying to get that tether disconnected.
Stuart Chad Mast was stopped by Ashe County Sheriff's deputies in September last year. He's working to unhook a safety cord from his motorcycle when deputies throw him to the ground.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Give me your hand! Give me your hand!
That safety cord inflated a vest.
Give me your hand, mother.
As Mast is held on the ground by deputies.
Multiple deputies on scene would then jump in and try and get Stuart onto his belly with his arms behind his back. But that's not all they did.
Give me your hand, mother. I got one. Give us the other hand! Give us the other hand! Give us your hand now. Just the other fucking hand. Johnny, get a cuff on this hand.
I'm gonna choke you out, you hear me? Stop fighting!
One of the deputies, Deputy Bledsoe, decided to put Stuart in what's known as a rear naked choke. And what this choke does is compresses the carotid arteries on the side of your neck, which interrupts the blood flow to your brain, causing you to go unconscious. And in Stuart's case, quit breathing. Deputy Bledsoe can be heard on the body camera footage saying that he was gonna choke Stuart out. And that's exactly what he did.
Fighting! You got it. You're good. You're good.
Stop fighting.
Fucking get it on there as best you can. Will do. Wrench that shit up. Give us your other hand! Dude,
Still not got it.
you're making this harder than it needs to be. Okay.
I think he's out. Maybe his helmet's touching out.
Here. Yeah.
Hey, get him on his side. He's purple in the face.
Oh, shit. Johnny, get his other handcuff. Will do.
Unit side of Bower Lane, 10-4.
Get in EMS.
10-4, start EMS.
I can't get this helmet.
It's stuck on his shit.
Any other unit respond Bower Lane, 16 South before Sheet Bridge.
He's breathing.
He's close.
He's double lock. 37 okay.
Go ahead.
Hey.
Now, I want to be very clear. At no time in the body camera footage did I ever see Stuart strike or fight any of these deputies. The only people you can hear yelling while Stuart is on the ground is those deputies. The civil rights lawyer made a very good point when watching this body camera footage closely.
We don't hear Stuart say anything. In fact, quite the opposite. Listen closely, and I believe that you can hear Stuart literally suffocating as they're on top of him and cursing at him.
I got one. Give us the other hand! Give us the other hand! Give us your hand now.
You can hear at multiple points, it sounds like Stuart is really gasping for air. And remember too, his helmet is still on, which would make it even more difficult for Stuart to breathe in this position. Now, after about a minute of scuffling with Stuart on the ground, those deputies notice that his face is starting to turn blue. And he's completely silent.
37
EMS 1018.
EMS 1018. Hey, come on.
Undo his belly strap. Undo his belly strap.
Cable.
So from what I can see from a medical standpoint, it looks like those deputies not only choked Stuart out, they also piled on top of him, making it very difficult for him to breathe. When you have weight on your back, it also compresses your chest. So when you go to take a breath, you're not able to take a full breath. You're able to take small, short, little breaths up until you can't. And that is when you quit breathing. When those deputies went to roll over Stuart, it was found that he was blue and not breathing. So they quickly called for an ambulance. But it's what they do next, to me, that makes it look like they tried to cover this up.
Go get, let me get Narcan. Let me get Narcan.
Law enforcement presence on scene requesting 1018 traffic.
Within a matter of seconds after Stuart quit breathing, one of the deputies decides it's time to push Narcan, which some believe deputies did this to try and shift the focus of what just happened to make this look like, well, an overdose. Even though it was abundantly clear this was not an overdose.
He's good, buddy, relax. Undo that handcuff, put it in the front, okay? Send him more. Take them both home. Kenny, how long? We got Narcan sent. They're starting CPR. Get in that.
10-4, they're started 1018 at the time. I'll update them.
Anything? I can't tell.
County Ashe medics, update on the call. Law enforcement's on scene. Narcan has been administered. Possible overdose. CPR in progress.
I want to send him again. Johnny, get him cuffed in the front, please. Open his mouth. You got a bag?
I don't know.
Got a bag rebreather. Go get it.
Let's see if I can find it. Shit.
Do you think those deputies pushed Narcan because they honestly believed that Stuart was having an overdose? Tell me what you think in the comments. Now, as a licensed paramedic and nurse, I think I can say this with some level of authority and experience, that the first aid these deputies provided to Stuart was some of the worst first aid I've ever seen. Now, because of YouTube guidelines, I do have to blur out some of this footage, but I'm gonna try and walk you through what happens next. It looks like it took deputies a couple of minutes to realize they should probably start CPR after Stuart had quit breathing. And if you watch, they repeatedly interrupt CPR, something you should never do. Once CPR is started, the only reason you should ever stop is to check for a pulse and to shock if indicated. Other than that, continue CPR until EMS arrives or somebody else takes over. Now, continuing to watch these deputies fumble with CPR, you can see one of them recognizes that they need a mask to give Stuart breaths. However, he doesn't grab the right mask. You see, there are two pieces of equipment you can use right here. One is a CPR mask you can see pictured here, and two is a bag valve mask. Both of these pieces of equipment are designed to give the patient breaths. The CPR mask is applied to the patient's face and it allows you to blow breaths into it, whereas the bag valve mask is placed over the patient's face and allows you to mechanically deflate the bag that it's attached to, which pushes air into the patient's lungs. And when hooked up to oxygen, provides that patient with high flow oxygen. But as you can see here, the deputy didn't grab either one of these things. He grabbed this right here, which is a non-rebreather mask. A non-rebreather mask is used for people in severe respiratory distress. It also provides high-flow oxygen, but it's designed to use for someone that's still breathing, so it would not be indicated in Stuart's case. Now, thankfully, the deputy realizes this and quickly changes course, but notice those deputies still are not providing CPR, which in a case of somebody that's not breathing, every single second counts. Now, I will give it to the deputies. Here is where they do something right. They get the AED out and apply the pads to Stuart's chest. And this is something you'll immediately want to do once an AED is on scene. This is one of the only things you would ever interrupt CPR for, is to apply the AED.
Here, I got it.
Evaluating heart rhythm.
10-4. Oh, fuck, I was in keto.
No shock advised. And rescue breath.
Now, as you heard, that AED stated that there was no shock advised, which means it's time to do another 5 cycles of CPR, 30 compressions to every 2 breaths, and then have that heart rhythm analyzed once again. You continue this rotation until EMS arrives.
His head, get something under it. See if somebody keep looking for a bag rebreather. He needs oxygen. Yeah, Johnny, look in the bags here. Yeah, look in the back of my car. Do you have one in yours?
Continue care.
Here. Open his mouth. Get his mouth open. Hey, do you have a bag rebreather? Yeah. We pushed 2 Narcan. We need something to get him oxygen. Let me run and get some clothes on. Go. Hey, notify 101.
Now, again, watching this footage, these deputies continuously stop CPR during this entire incident. So in my opinion, up until this point, Stuart has not really gotten any effective first aid. CPR is designed to pump the blood to the vital organs like the heart and the brain, allowing those organs to stay perfused, trying to hold off tissue death.
Without any intervention, the brain, vital organs, and our heart will begin to die. Beginning CPR is the person's only chance of survival. Brain damage will start to set in within 4 minutes, and after 10 minutes, brain damage becomes irreversible. The power to save a life is truly in your hands. Performing CPR accomplishes 2 critical things. 1, compressions move oxygenated blood to the brain to keep the brain alive. And 2, compressions keep blood and oxygen moving to the heart muscle itself so that it has the best chance of resuming a normal electrical rhythm after a shock is delivered.
Continuous CPR in this scenario is necessary. If you're not doing this continuously and adequately, that's exactly what happens. Tissue death. And when that happens in the heart and brain, it leads to actual death. Now, at one point, you can see one of the deputies actually gets the correct device, a bag valve mask. However, he doesn't know how to use it. I know you can't exactly see what's happening, but that deputy is applying the bag valve mask to Stuart's face and mouth without actually having the mask portion on it. A bag valve mask comes in several pieces, one of them being the bag and the other piece being the mask that actually goes onto the patient's face to create the seal around the mouth so you can hold the mask with one hand, the bag with the other hand, and provide those breaths to the patient. However, the deputy doesn't realize the bag valve mask doesn't have the actual mask piece attached to it. Thankfully, seconds later, the deputy realizes that he's using this piece of equipment wrong, locates the mask, and provides ventilations to Stuart. I don't know that I saw one cycle of adequate CPR provided by the deputies prior to EMS arriving. To me, it looks like those deputies probably went through some sort of first aid and CPR course, but never followed up, which especially if you're an officer in a rural area and it takes EMS an extended period of time to get to your location, you should absolutely be training in your first aid and CPR. It can definitely be the difference between life and death for some of the people that they encounter. Now, during the CPR, you can hear one of the deputies in their body camera footage walks away from the incident, and it sounds like he's talking to one of his superiors.
Hey, I don't know yet, Joe, truthfully. I watched Stuart Mast coming in off 16 South. I know he's been involved in the drug trafficking stuff. He came in off 16 South on a motorcycle. He sat at the corner market for a while. Cody sat on one end, I sat on the other. He took off on the bike. We chased him for a while. We chased him from the corner market to right here at Cox Road. Speeds were only like 55, nothing crazy with his driving. He just refused to pull over. We got going down the hill past Cox Road. I did a rolling roadblock. I kind of got in front of him and slowed down. There was never any impact or collision. He finally just heated and pulled over. Got him at one point. We started to pull him off the bike. He started fighting, refusing to get off the bike.
Deep bike.
Still had his helmet and his riding jacket on. He moved both his hands.
Glendale and Route 16 South. It's going to be just at Bower Lane, right before Sheets Bridge. Medic 5 just arrived on scene. Only information we have is possible overdose, Narcan, administered, CPR was in progress.
Holstered my gun. We drug him off the bike, got on the ground, started fighting with him. His helmet was on, and during the course of the struggle, his helmet's got some road rash on it. I was pushing his helmet up to try and get it off, and then he kind of let out like a weird breath. And he stopped fighting. We got his hands out from underneath him, handcuffed him. We got the helmet, I got the helmet pulled the rest of the way off. And he's just been out. He's kind of been doing like a agonal breathing. We've Narcaned him twice. No Narcan's working. We've got an AED on him. Started CPR immediately and nothing. He's still just, it's like he's deceased.
Heart rhythm.
How old do anybody know his name? Next just got here. It's Stuart Chad Mast. He's mid-40s.
Provide chest compressions and rescue.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what else to do here. It looks like he's deceased. I mean, they're still working him, but.
All right. Deal.
Continue.
Okay, bye.
If you ask me, it doesn't sound like that deputy was being 100% honest in that phone call. Now, from what I read next, around 1 a.m. is when the paramedics arrived.
Continue care.
I have no idea. He just refused to heed. I did a rolling roadblock. He never hit me. I mean, he stopped.
I thought he was going to go around you for a second.
I got him at gunpoint, and he said, "Are you going to shoot me?" And I holstered my gun. We drug him off. It was a fight. We bounced off the back of my car. We got him on the ground, and both his hands went up underneath him. His helmet was still on, and I started trying to pull his helmet up off of him because I was going to throw strikes to the face. And he just stopped and was like, kind of stopped fighting. They still couldn't get his other arm.
It felt like he was moving his arm back to him, but maybe
and we got him handcuffed, and I got the mask, the helmet off of him. He's got a red mark under here with the mask, where the helmet was like coming up underneath his chin. You don't think I could have?
No.
You don't think I could have hurt him trying to get that mask off?
I really doubt it. I'd say what's happened. Old boy's on this. I bet he's high as a kite. How old is he? We're looking at in the 50s.
He sells dope all the time.
Who is he?
It's Stuart Chad Mast. He lives on Water Tank Road.
No, they've been recording all that. I bet he's on something. I don't think it's anything.
You don't think I could have hurt him with the helmet?
No. You didn't. Hold on.
There's no way. I bet his heart gave out.
Well, probably. Also, like, you gotta think, when he was running, he wasn't running like.
No, he wasn't going fast.
65 at most.
Well, yeah, I don't even think it was that fast. It was like he was ignoring us.
Do you think he stuffed anything? That's
why I was recording.
I was too far behind him.
You think?
I didn't. Yeah, we got this. He was just. It looked like he was just trying to drive, but he wasn't going fast.
They got a call on him the other night. Daniel went looking for him out water tank.
You gotta get this. Can you get an IO started?
You can see the EMS crew quickly get Stuart on a heart monitor, continue CPR, and one of them calls for an IO, which is an interosseous line. It's essentially like an IV that you put into somebody's arm, only you drill it into their bone, usually right below their kneecap. And these are usually placed when the patient is in a life-threatening situation, as in Stuart's case. You don't have to fool around with finding a vein, you just drill your line right into the patient's bone. I've done this several times, and it's honestly not that bad. It sounds a lot worse than it actually is.
Hey Josh, you guys have anything? You guys have anything?
Not at this moment.
Could you make a favor?
Where's your body cam?
Did anybody see him conscious and alert?
Yes, we were chasing him.
Just after 1 a.m., that EMS crew would transport Stuart to Ashe County Memorial Hospital. And though doctors tried, they were unsuccessful in saving Stuart's life, and he was pronounced dead at 1:05 a.m. on September 13th, 2024. Now, that same day, the Ashe County Sheriff would request the North Carolina SBI to take over the investigation into this case. Sadly for Stuart's family, they were left with a lot of questions, and that's because they were given little to no information on what happened to Stuart. Listening to this phone call, it sounds like right after this incident, it didn't even look like the family knew where Stuart's body was.
Earlier today, I got the opportunity to speak to the family of Chad Mast, who told me they're being left out of the loop on what happened here. They told me they won't stop fighting until the story makes sense.
Why didn't I get to see Chad's body? Why didn't I get to see it? You took it and sent it for an autopsy that I had to call the sheriff's department to even figure out where his body was. No medical examiner has even called us. And I don't want to believe that. I want to be wrong. But they haven't said, hey, this is what happened. You can come look at the body cam footage to make you all have your mind at ease. And this is why we're doing this. But they've not done any of that.
And they believed it was in an attempt to keep them from seeing his body. And also, the sheriff's office and SBI refused to allow the family to review the body camera footage.
Sheriff Howell has on his website that he runs a transparent office.
Oh, my Lord. They don't speak to you. They don't tell you nothing. You just carry that stress, and your mama's carrying that stress, and your sister's carrying that stress, and all the people that knowed him are just holding their hands up, and you don't know what to do. But it's not transparent.
Stop fighting.
Ashe County Sheriff Phil Howell opposed my petition to make video of Mast's deadly stop public. He also put out this statement hours after Mast died, saying 3 deputies were injured in the arrest, one so bad he had to be hospitalized.
Johnny?
No officer appears injured in the body camera video.
You know, you just can't go around killing folks because you've got a badge.
Which I think we all know why. Remember this part?
I'm gonna choke you out, you hear me? I'm gonna choke you out, you hear me?
And just seconds later, Stuart would quit breathing. I think that's exactly why they kept that footage from the family and the public. Now, fast forward to March 7th, 2025, and the details for Stuart's autopsy were released. And the medical examiner that conducted Stuart's autopsy ruled his death a homicide. But there's more to that. The autopsy report indicated that Stuart's cause of death was due to compression asphyxia of the torso and neck, along with heart disease and methamphetamine intoxication as contributing factors. But it's important to note that there was not enough methamphetamine in Stuart's system to cause his death. Now, despite the fact that Stuart's death was ruled a homicide, none of the deputies were charged in this incident. They weren't even so much as disciplined. Now, after the conclusion of SBI's investigation into this case, a special prosecutor was brought in to present the facts to a grand jury.
And the incident is now being reviewed by Kimberly Robb, a seasoned former elected district attorney now working in Watauga County.
However, after hearing testimony and reviewing the available evidence, that grand jury declined to file charges against any of the deputies involved. Now, a local TV station would petition the court to get that body camera footage released.
Even Mast's own family says they haven't been able to see the video, despite their lawyer having asked, and a law requiring they be able to do so. That's why I filed this petition in court on Monday, seeking public release of the video. After I filed that petition, I learned District Attorney Tom Horner recused himself from reviewing the case.
And on May 6, 2025, that body camera footage would finally be released to the public, which was, of course, opposed by Ashe County Sheriff Phil Howell. But it got released. Now, following the release of that body camera footage, the sheriff's office was getting so much backlash from the public that they had to take down their social media.
Today, Ashe County Sheriff Phil Howell confirmed to WBTV he deactivated his office's social media accounts and took down the agency's website. In a statement on the Ashe County Sheriff's Office website, Howell said the move was due to a swell of feedback sparked by the video becoming public.
Now, to close, I think without a doubt there's going to be a lawsuit coming from Stuart's estate. I would actually be more surprised if there wasn't one. I'll keep my eyes open for any new details in this case and provide them in the community post. Now, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. My name is Cy, and my channel is Dark Times with Nico and Cy. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps push my content out to a wider audience, and it is very much appreciated. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.